Shark hunting has existed for a long time and is considered one of the traditional occupations of many coastal fishing communities, especially in ocean areas rich in aquatic resources. This process often begins with fishermen preparing large boats, equipped with long fishing lines, strong steel hooks and baits such as blocks of fish or fresh squid to attract sharks. When going out to sea, they drop dozens, even hundreds of long fishing lines, each with many hooks. This work requires endurance and patience because sharks can bite after many hours or even days. When sharks are hooked, the crew must join forces to pull them onto the deck. This is a dangerous step because sharks often struggle violently, swing their tails and spray water to escape. After being controlled and brought onto the ship, the giant shark will be handled on the spot to avoid damaging the meat during the move. Shark butchering takes place in a clear process. First, the fins are removed, which are a part of high commercial value used in many specialties, especially shark fin soup. Then, the fish body is divided into large parts, cut along the backbone to get thick and firm meat fibers. The shark liver is also often retained to process oil, which is a valuable raw material in industry and medicine. The shark meat after being butchered is usually washed with seawater and then preserved in ice. In some cases it will be salted right on the ship to keep it longer. This process not only requires technique but also agility and precision, because every small mistake can cause the whole batch of fish to lose value. After removing all the valuable parts of the fish, the carcasses are often released back into the sea, creating a food source for other creatures, with a large output. After being brought to port, the sharks will continue to go through the stages of classification. Packaging and transportation to processing plants or consumer markets. Hunting and butchering sharks is not only a hard and dangerous job but also reflects the relationship between humans and the sea, where they have to face the enormous power of nature to make a living and exploit resources for life. In addition to the techniques of hunting and butchering on board, processing and preserving sharks is also an extremely important step, determining the quality and economic value of the product. When sharks are brought ashore, fishermen often gather at large ports, where cold storage and processing infrastructure are available. Fresh meat blocks will be classified according to size, thickness and color. Shark meat is usually white or light pink, has a strong taste and contains a lot of protein, so it is popular in the food industry. Part of the meat is processed fresh. Part will be dried or smoked to serve long-term needs. After being separated, the shark fins are washed, dried in the sun or industrially dried to preserve the flavor, then carefully packaged and exported to many different markets. Oil from shark livers is also extracted, used to produce cosmetics, supplements and many medical products. In the past, many fishing communities also took advantage of shark skin to make handicrafts such as armor, sandpaper, or decorative items. The shark processing process seems simple, hundreds of kilometers long, with thousands of sharp-baited hooks attached. The bait is usually small fish, squid or fresh seafood with attractive smells to attract tuna to bite the bait. When the fishing line is dropped, it floats in the vast waves, stretching along the ocean currents, creating a giant trap hidden in the sea. Fishermen have to wait patiently for many hours, even all day, because tuna often move in schools, hunting at certain times. When the fish is hooked, the line is stretched, signaling the beginning of the struggle. Tuna are famous for their strength, swimming speeds of up to tens of nautical miles per hour. So pulling them up is not easy. Fishermen must combine strength, experience and dexterity, using reels, pulleys and calloused hands to gradually pull the giant fish from the deep sea. Many times, tuna weighing hundreds of kilograms struggle violently, causing the whole boat to shake. Water splashing, sweat mixing with the salty taste of the ocean. After being controlled and brought to the deck, the tuna is quickly killed to avoid spoiling the quality of the meat. Next, fishermen proceed to the preliminary processing stage on the spot, cutting off the gills, removing the intestines and storing them in ice to keep them fresh. This process requires speed and caution because tuna is a high-class seafood product. Each one can bring great economic value. Longline fishing is not only hard work but also a combination of intelligence and generational experience. Each sea trip can last for many days, facing waves, storms and unexpected dangers of the ocean. However, when the boat docks with a hold full of tuna, joy and pride are evident on the faces of the fishermen. They know that their efforts not only bring food and clothing to their families but also contribute to bringing seafood specialties to dining tables around the world. Although this method has had many modern improvements, it still retains its traditional features and sustainable values, because it both produces large output and limits the destruction of the marine environment compared to other forms of massive fishing. Therefore, long lines are not only a tool but also a symbol of tuna fishing, closely associated with the life and culture of fishermen in coastal areas. Each trip to catch tuna with long lines carries within it a harsh and challenging journey. From preparation, monitoring nautical charts, to calculating the position of the line, fishermen must carefully study the migration habits of tuna. Based on many years of experience and signals from positioning devices and fish finders, tuna usually follow warm ocean currents, where there are many small fish as food sources. So choosing the right fishing ground largely determines the success of the trip. When casting the fishing line, dozens of sailors coordinate rhythmically. Each person has a task. Some prepare the bait, some cast the line, some check the marker buoys. The long fishing line drifts with the waves. It can take hours to cast it all. Then there is a period of waiting in tension and hope. Sometimes all day long without seeing any fish caught. But sometimes after only a few hours. A series of buoys vibrate strongly to signal that the fish have taken the bait, creating an urgent atmosphere on the deck. The process of reeling in the line is the most difficult time, because tuna often resist very fiercely. Fishermen have to divide shifts, taking turns to avoid exhaustion, because just one adult tuna can make the entire reel heavy. The lines are so taut that they are about to break. The sound of the reel squealing mixed with the sound of the wind and waves like a fierce song of the ocean. When the tuna is brought onto the ship, the processing step is quickly implemented to keep the meat from losing quality. Experienced workers only need a few skillful movements to remove all the organs. Wash with seawater and put them immediately in the cold storage. Large tuna are often carefully selected, because of their high export value, especially to markets like Japan, where tuna is considered a valuable ingredient for making sashimi or sushi. The joy of catching a large batch of tuna is not only economic value. But also a testament to the resilience and perseverance of fishermen who stick to the sea. Each long fishing line is the result of intelligence, labor and faith, connecting people with the vast ocean. The profession of catching tuna with long lines is therefore both harsh and noble, carrying with it sweat, blood, and the aspiration to reach the sea of people who live on the seabed. Long-line tuna fishing trips often last for days, even weeks at sea. So fishermen must prepare food, fresh water, fuel and a strong spirit. In the middle of the vast ocean, they have to face big waves, strong winds, unpredictable weather, and sometimes even sudden storms. Each wave crashing against the boat seems to test the will of the crew. But in this difficult time, the solidarity of the fishermen becomes stronger than ever. They share each hurried meal together, pull each heavy line together and encourage each other to overcome danger. Longline tuna fishing also has its own rules. From how to arrange the line to avoid tangles, to how to handle it when the line is pulled by a fish, or when encountering other species caught on the hook. Sometimes instead of tuna, people catch sharks or unexpectedly large fish, making the job more dangerous. But it is these surprises that create the appeal and harshness of the sea profession. When the ship's hold is gradually filled with fish, the atmosphere of excitement spreads on the fishermen's faces. They know that the results will bring valuable income to the family, help their children to study, and help maintain the tradition of sticking to the sea for generations. After being preserved in ice cellars, tuna will be brought ashore, transferred to processing factories or seafood wholesale markets. From there reaching out to the world, it can be said that each tuna is not simply a catch. But also a symbol of the bond between people and the sea. A testament to the persistent and ingenious labor of fishermen, The longline fishing method, although simple, is still preserved and promoted because it combines traditional elements and sustainable values. It not only brings high economic efficiency but also helps maintain aquatic resources without causing excessive damage to the marine ecosystem like other massive exploitation methods. Therefore, longline tuna fishing continues to exist, becoming the pride of many coastal communities, and affirming its important role in the national fisheries industry. After each longline tuna fishing trip, when the ship returns to port, the image of full fish holds becomes the pride not only of the fishermen on board but also of the entire fishing village community. People flock to the port, busily classifying fish, weighing, packing and transporting them to the place of consumption. The calls to each other, the sound of engines, the sound of iceboxes colliding and the salty smell of the ocean blend into a vivid picture, reflecting the vitality of the fishing industry. Tuna is sold right at the port to traders or transferred to large seafood markets, where prices depend on the quality of the meat and the size of each fish. Tuna weighing hundreds of kilograms, with fresh, firm red meat, are always highly valued, especially when exported to large markets such as Japan, Korea or Europe. After many hard days on the water, fishermen are now enjoying the fruits of their labor, knowing that most of the profits will be invested in the next trip. Tuna fishing with long lines is not only a way to earn a living but also a tradition closely linked to maritime culture. Through each generation, experience is passed down through stories and practical lessons from their ancestors. Every young sailor, when boarding a ship, learns how to tie the rope, how to choose bait, how to observe the sea and sky to recognize signs of fish. It is a treasure trove of folk knowledge combined with modern technology. Today, despite the support of machinery, satellite positioning equipment or modern storage tanks, the core of longline fishing still lies in the perseverance, courage and faith of people in front of the sea. It is this blend of tradition and modernity that has helped longline tuna fishing sustainably, becoming an indispensable part of the lives and identities of coastal fishermen, while also contributing greatly to the country's valuable seafood export resources. Not only having economic significance, longline tuna fishing is also associated with many customs, practices and spiritual life of fishermen. Before each trip, people often hold a ceremony to worship the sea god, praying for favorable weather, a safe trip and a good catch. These simple but sacred rituals show deep faith in nature, and are also a way for fishermen to gain spiritual strength before a long and arduous journey. When at sea, collective life on board also creates strong bonds. They share every drop of fresh water, every frugal meal and even happy and sad stories to dispel the feeling of loneliness in the middle of the ocean. Sometimes when the sea is calm, everyone sits on the deck, singing or telling old stories, creating warm moments in the vast space. But there are also times when the waves are fierce. The whole ship has to struggle. All the sailors work together, coordinate to hold the fishing line, keep the ship from sinking. It is in these difficult times that camaraderie is forged. becoming the strength to help them overcome all dangers. When the tuna is brought ashore, many families and communities benefit together. Women and children in the village often participate in the preliminary processing, sorting, and packaging stages, creating a closely knit labor chain. Thanks to that, the longline fishing profession not only feeds those who go to sea directly but also provides a livelihood for the entire fishing village. In particular, the image of tuna has become a cultural symbol in many localities, appearing in festivals, cuisine and folk tales. Dishes made from tuna, from fresh sashimi to braised, grilled, and dried dishes, all have the rich flavor of the sea, associated with the memories and pride of fishermen. Thus, longline tuna fishing is not only a livelihood, but also a cultural beauty, a symbol of human resilience and intelligence in the journey to conquer the sea.